When Danye asked Misha to apologize, I forgot what that word meant. I know I heard her before. I heard of it before, but I was like, apologize. Bitch, how do you spell her? A-P, Apollo, A-P-A-U-L-A, apologize. Girl, I know how you spell her, but I didn't know what that meant, and I was like, sorry for what? I remember back in the day when men used to be men. That's all I'm saying. Girl, how did you meet your current boo?
I met him at a party, actually. So his best friend owns Azul, and I was there one night with a group of friends, and he insisted on getting my number, and I'm like, no. And then I go to the restroom. He has the waitress come in there and get my number, and I'm like, I said, is he cute? She said, yeah, because he was in the back VIP. And I said, is he tall? She said, yeah. I said, does he got money? She said, yeah. And I said, give him the number.
Girl, yes, climb that tree, get to the tree house, girl.
Yeah, he is, what, 6'4"? I'm 5'3". Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
yes, indeed. I love that, girl. Good for you, girl. So you happy?
Yes, I'm happy.
That's all that matters, girl. Will y'all ever do reality TV together?
So we've kind of gone back and forth about it. He really didn't like all this baddies. He actually almost quit talking to me because of baddies. And he just said, like, if I didn't know you in person, based on how they portrayed you, you're not a girl I would ever talk to you. Like, they played you, you looked horrible. So he was the one that actually helped me with releasing the chapters and everything when everything happened. So I'm very thankful for that. But he's not the type to be in front of camera and stuff. And I just started to get him to open up to social media, and he understands lighting now, and I've taken him to like Gold's Plastic Surgery with me. So I think he'll say yeah to reality TV. And I've actually pitched some ideas.
All right. Would you ever go back to Zeus? Oh, girl. Is there anything that you want to say to the camera, to Miss Princess? All right, what's going on, you? I'm Mo to the night, and I'm the ghetto queen on this YouTube scene, keeping it awesome with the gangsta lean group. And as y'all can see, we here full live and in motherfucking color with my girl, Sarah So Ulava. What's going on, girl?
Just chilling.
Just chilling. Girl, it's been a long time. I just had to show her this video that we did back in 2013, girl.
Yes.
You've been on the scene with the gangsta lean for a while, girl. But we're going to get right into things, right? Because I saw you did an interview with my twin. People think that she looked like me. I don't think so.
No.
I look better. But I saw you did the interview with her, and it was cute or whatever, but I felt like y'all was just talking about, you know, Jay Leno's daughter the whole time. And I was like, girl, I'm going to need to ask her some real questions. We're going to get into some things. So we're going to start this off right, okay? How many TV shows have you been on at this point? And do you hold the record for the most out of all the girls? Or will we give it to Natalie or Judy?
I've been on, what, maybe 6 now? So, I'm not sure if they've been on more. They've probably been on about the same amount, I would say.
Okay. Are you cool with the chicks from BGC 11? And if so, which ones are you cool with, which ones aren't?
So a lot of them are non-existent, I feel like, because you just don't even hear about them. But
right.
Jazz Monet, her and I have became close, and when this online war started happening, a lot of people are scared to speak up, but Jazz was like front and center and had my back and was like just talking shit online. So
what online war? What do you mean?
Because at one point it was like 5 versus 1 against me, and I even reposted the clip from back in the day which had Jazz, and I'm like, no shade to Tiana and Jazz because I'm cool with both of them, and I'm like, it's basically 5 versus 1 all over again, which was Natalie, Rocky, Shannon, Jada, and then their little T page that is like Natalie's little pet. So it was them 5 against me, just going crazy online.
Girl, well, speaking of jumping, girl, you are notoriously known, girl, for when them bitches jumped you back on BGC 11, girl. I know it's been like 20,000 years since then, but can you now take us back to what was going through your mind when that happened, girl?
I don't know. I mean, it was BGC 11 was my first big show on TV. I had shot pilots before, and you know, I've been open with my story. I used to date a psycho guy. He was abusive. We would fight, and we would actually like fist fight. I'm the first girl that's ever like hit him back. He was like, whoa, like this bitch crazy. Like, you're not about to hit me and then I'm gonna like sit there and cry. Like, I will punch her ass back. So going on to that show, and these girls kept picking on me, and I'm like, I fought a grown man in person. You think I'm scared of girls? I don't care how many it is. So I just didn't really care. Of course, the one issue is I don't like them pulling my hair out. But as far as fighting, I'm not intimidated whatsoever. And I was like, I'll fight the whole house.
Has anybody ever tried to jump you since that whole you getting jumped on BGC 11? Have you ever had another situation like that?
Never.
Okay.
Yeah, nah.
Okay.
They know not to.
Oh,
I'm not the one.
I know that's right, girl. So explain to us how the conversation happened between you, Jazz Monet, and Tiana, because y'all are like cool now. So who prompted that conversation? Did they call you? Did you call them? How did that work for y'all to be cool?
So me and Tiana actually go way back. So it was kind of an olive branch at the reunion for season 11 when I brought all the girls' shirts, and of course most of them were shady, but for Tiana and Jazz, they had good shirts. Let's see. Tiana's was so Harlem, and Jazz was so pretty. So when they realized I was being nice to them because I knew that they were manipulated and that they were just like tricked by, you know, the girls in the house, like Mimi, Gigi, and then of course production, that kind of made it to where we were cool. Then of course Tiana and I went on All-Star Battle. We had a secret alliance going on to the show that people didn't know about, and I reached out to her. I said, look, we can never speak about this on camera because I know how production works. So anytime Tiana and I would talk, it would be in the bathroom when one of us was in the shower or using the bathroom off mic. So we kept the secret alliance, and of course we came in first and second place on that show.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Jazz, it was just pretty much the online thing. When all the online stuff happened, I was like, oh, thank you know what I mean? She would write in my comments. I would write back on her, and I've supported her and things she's done. So it was never an official conversation, just DM back and forth. I've never even had her phone number.
Okay, so y'all been like really in my DMs going crazy, asking me about this secret fight between you and Jada that happened or something in a closet, BGC 13, something.
Yeah.
She came out with a black eye. What happened, girl?
So there was not, I mean, we were all drinking, but I have a really good memory. There was no fight in the closet. I remember pushing them out of my closet. So maybe between the shoving, Oxygen's of course going to want to show every single fight because that's good for, you know, ratings. So there was not an actual fight. I'm assuming, did they say it was like black makeup or something, or a knot?
All I remember them saying was that you see you running after her in one scene, and then she come back in the next scene, and there's no fight afterwards. So they was trying to figure out what happened in between all that.
I was shoving them out of my closet. Security was in there, and if her eye did look a little crazy, I know some people were like zooming in. It was probably just makeup, just from the pushing and shoving, but not an actual fight, and not like fist throwing or anything like that.
Okay. Well, girl, we know some things be going on, right? A lot of these women, y'all women be out there, not me though, not me. But y'all women be out there trying to get with the producers to get a little something going on so y'all could get a leg up, Pun intended. Girl, from BGC 11 all the way to Zeus, girl, did you give a leg up for any producers? Like, was you feeling any producers throughout your TV history?
I'm like trying to think back. Like, no, everything, especially in BGC, was very separated for me. I never talked to the producers other than them being behind the camera. So I didn't have a personal relationship with any of them.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have to do all that if you're entertaining enough. Some people do it because they feel like they need to do something.
Right.
They need to do something extra.
All I'm gonna say is just get checked, boo. Just get checked. Because some of y'all be having to stay up in the clinic, girl. But girl, let me ask you, was any of these producers cute? Because the ones that they be showing on TV be butt ugly. Like, looking horrible. Like
from BGC time?
Like all the producers, girl, even some of them Zeus naggers, they be looking a little rough around the edges, girl.
Stupid.
Any of them
Yeah.
cute? Does anybody like come to your name like mine? Like, oh, Malik, he was cute, or Christopher, he was cute.
So season 11, a lot of the girls had a crush on Brad, and he kind of looked like a Ken doll.
Ooh.
So you kind of see him, but he was very clean cut, clean beard.
All right.
After that season, the other BGC, probably not. And then, I mean, the Zeus people, people grow on you. So if I just saw people just randomly as strangers, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're attractive. But there's a couple of them that are kind of cute because you know them and you're cool with them.
Okay. Girl, I heard some things about the Zeus producers, girl. Are they sus? Like, suspect, like gay?
Okay, so somebody messaged me saying that they had something on one of the guys, and then they're like, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the messages, Sarah. I never really fed into it because I don't know if it's true, nor do I want to go down that rabbit hole. So me personally, I don't think any of them are gay.
Okay.
But I have seen comments, but yeah, I don't think so.
All right. I mean, we are in Atlanta.
Right.
And so is Zeus. So, girl, you know what that means, girl. I'm going to leave it at that, girl. So, I'm going to read this because I put a lot down on this one. So, I could say Natalie is a bad bitch in terms of like what people would think of as a bad bitch, right? When you think of bad girls, there's only a couple of y'all that I really think of. I think of you. I think of Judy. I think of Stassi. And Natalie comes to mind sometimes. What is it about her that keeps people around her, do you think? And what was it between y'all that kept y'all close, quote unquote?
Okay, so people are attracted to her because she brings opportunities. She does that because, for one, she sleeps with everybody. She gets everybody's number. She's always out. So she does have a lot of connections. It's like people like her, but they hate her at the same time because she'll use you, make up lies, backstab you. So with me and her, I quit being her friend, and I mentioned this on Baddies ATL in 2015. She stole money, she lied, she left me in a different country.
Girl, did you beat her the fuck up? Like, what
I quit talking to her for years. I went to her baby shower just to show support, but I talked to her twice in like a 4-year period, 4 or 5 years. And then she made it seem like we've been best friends this whole time. We weren't friends whatsoever. And then when she called me for the OnlyFans idea, her and I were the ones I put the project together. It was more so an idea for her, and I was like, that's a great idea. And then, of course, I did the contracts, the banking, everything like that. So that's how we got back together. I'm like, it's a good idea.
So you was at home doing your DIY projects, right?
Yes.
I'm imagining this, right?
Yeah.
You was at home doing your DIY projects, and she was allegedly in Dubai on an African prince, and she just rang you up like, girl, we need to get on OnlyFans and do a show. Like, that's how that happened?
Basically, she was watching Blueface Bad Girls at the time. He had made a couple million in a weekend or something like that. She was like, why are we letting him steal our idea? We should do it. I'm like, cool, I'm down.
Okay.
So that's how it all started. I remember I was at the gym that day, and it just started to turn to chaos within like 5 hours.
So who came up with the initial lineup of the girls on OnlyFans? Because I felt like I remember seeing Rocky in the mix, and who's Rocky's best friend? Shannon in the mix. Then Shannon not there no more. Then I see Jada and Natalie fighting, and Jada almost got her head hit on the piano. Like, it was too much going on, girl. Like, the initial lineup for OnlyFans, what was the initial cast lineup?
Okay, so it all started with that phone call, and we had picked certain girls that were favorites, and we were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. A few hours had passed. Natalie had called everybody that she knew. She's like, any bad girls that you know that want to come and do this project, let them do it. I'm like, no, we don't just want any random girl. And later that night, there was probably 10 or so people in this group chat. Tanisha apparently was part of it. I didn't see it till later. It was the 6 girls on OnlyFans. Tiana I brought in later, so she was never part of the original. And then it was, of course, the Victor twins, Lucci, and Judy at one point was in the chat, and then, of course, Tanisha. So it was really whoever wanted to buy a ticket, come to Atlanta, and partake in this project, that's who can do it. So it was the 9 girls. And then the 3 got kicked out, the twins and Lucci, because they were causing too much chaos in the group chat, and we couldn't get anything done.
Oh, girl, you heard that? Y'all was causing motherfucking racket. So y'all got booted the fuck out. Girl, let me ask you, girl, who would have been your favorite cast to have started out with on the OnlyFans situation? If you had 7 girls, who would be your top 7?
So I definitely wanted Winter there. I wanted Angela from the sister season, Babbitts.
Right.
Angela. Tiana, of course, because that's my girl. Me, I would still say Rocky. I would still say Natalie. And then, I mean, Jada's good for TV, so I guess we would just throw Jada in there if we could only pick 7.
Okay. So, girl, I ain't no lesbian, and it's okay. You know, some of the women's out there lesbian. But I saw a couple of videos where it was like some lesbian stuff cans on, and I wasn't really here for all of it. I was like, where the dick at? You know what I'm saying? It was like women was licking titties and shit. I'm like, what's going on, girl? And so, girl, is that what the OnlyFans was supposed to be giving, or like what was like? Explain that.
Okay, so you're probably talking about me licking somebody's titty.
Girl, I ain't want to say no names, girl. The video out there floating, girl. But girl.
Okay, so originally it was going to be Bad Girls OnlyFans. So the reunion had to do with Bad Girls coming together doing OnlyFans content, which is sexy content. After the twins and Lucci got kicked out, they were like, you're not even doing episodes, you're not this. They got the fans all riled up. So they were like, okay, change the plans. Let's do episodes and kind of make it Bad Girls Club vibe.
Okay.
So we were torn between 2 ideas of projects while in the house.
Okay. From all the footage that I saw, it seems like you were the most professional. You were the one that was really trying to get a show together. Was there anybody else that really had your back? Because like all the video I saw, you were like the only one like, we got to do this, we got to do this. Was everybody just wanting to party? Like,
so Tiana was randomly in and out because she didn't have a babysitter. So when Tiana was there, she did listen and have my back, but she didn't understand everything that was going on. There were moments where Jada had my back, which showed in the interviews watching them back. But for the most part, none of them really grasped the concept, and they would rather just party than anything. So as all this is going on, Natalie was doing the side deal with Zeus. Our cameramen were mad because Zeus was in the mix, so they can't use that footage. And at one point, Zeus told them, don't put us on camera. And they're like, but you're all in the girl shot. So if Natalie was focused on OnlyFans like I was, and she made us believe, then she would have asked them to step aside, especially after they said they were already going to give us a show. So our cameramen were getting upset and were about to quit and leave multiple times because they just didn't want to deal with it.
how long did the OnlyFans thing last?
Not long. It was Saturday was our party. Sunday we moved into the house. We were there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday it was cut short because of the conversation. So we were only there for 4 days, and it was just hell.
Girl, I can imagine, girl. So who had to suck a little pinga to get on this Zeus show, girl? Who had to do her, girl? Who was doing that, sucking on the 3 inches, girl? Who was doing that?
I think you already know the answer.
Girl, we ain't got to say no names, but girl, if you was out there licking on 3 inches to get on Zeus, girl, I don't know what that's all about, girl. So we gonna segue into Zeus, because I got some questions that my twin didn't ask you about Zeus. So we're going to segue into Zeus. I want to get into some things, girl. So when did the Zeus idea come about? Like, who, was it just this whole thing that Natalie concocted, or?
Yes, so Natalie went to high school with one of the producers. So when she came up with the OnlyFans idea, and I was down for it, she did mention they were coming to film a pilot to possibly give us a show. Little did I know that the whole main focus was them for her. But we could have made way more money on our own on OnlyFans. Based on the rate we were going, way more money.
Girl, so I lied. We're gonna go back to OnlyFans real quick. So I know usually when you do shows and stuff, you discuss pay and you get all that straight. If it's 7, 6, 9 of y'all broads, who's like, is this equal pay for everybody? Like, what's the monies looking like?
So on OnlyFans, that was my main issue because there was 6 girls. Tiana wasn't part of the original contract, and we were splitting it evenly 6 ways. Problem comes in is that nobody wanted to hire a project manager or anything like that. I was doing all the work. So when you start an LLC, like you delegate roles to certain people. This one does the finances, this one. So why am I doing everything and we're splitting it 6 ways? So some of these girls collected a nice check to party and do absolutely shit while I'm doing all this work to get equal pay. So that's when I was like, yo, this shit ain't right. Like, you guys are stressing me out. And now, of course, I have my book and I deliver the episodes. Now they're mad, but it's like, y'all wasn't doing anything. They wanted me to sit at home and post random clips one at a time for a couple months and them all collect the money.
Girl. So was y'all clocking in at a meal on the OnlyFans? Was it like a meal? Was it like 5,000?
No, I mean, we did decent. I did make on OnlyFans back then what I made on Zeus. So that's what I'm saying. At the rate we were doing, not delivering episodes, we could have made a lot more money. And I tried to tell these girls, I said, listen, if we made this amount of money in this short amount of time and haven't delivered episodes, we can easily double our money by actually producing content and spend a few thousand in editing. And they all voted against me and said they wanted Christmas money and they didn't want to put $3,000 towards editing. $3,000.
Girl. So who came up with this Baddies ATL cast? Because, girl.
So it was pretty much Natalie, because when Zeus came, they promised all 7 of us could be on the show. Natalie didn't like that Tiana had my back, so she was immediately cut. So then it was the 6 of us. Jada got cut when she did the Tasha K interview and accused Natalie of sleeping with people at Zeus. And then Shannon got cut because Natalie wasn't really feeling her. Plus, she was upset of the Shamrock thing because she kept saying, nah, this is the Sarah Natalie show. And she was upset about Shamrock because she's just jealous of every damn body. So they got cut. Rocky was going to be on it. So it was going to be me, Rocky, Natalie, Christina, and then we were going to pick other girls. And then Rocky was back and forth with contracts. So then she got cut. So then the other girls, the reason 7 got on it is because we were in Miami doing promo. 7 was in a blog for getting in a street fight. So she was like, let's call 7.
That.
So that's why 7 was there. Janelle was friends with Natalie before. So she was like, oh, that's a pretty girl. And people were mad that our cast on OnlyFans was predominantly white. So she was like, okay, Janelle's a good one. Let's pull in Janelle. And then Sydney was the wild card. She picked Sydney because she knew Sydney had an issue with Judy. So she was setting Judy up.
Right.
So that was why Sydney was there. And then, of course, Judy's Judy. So Judy is Bad Girls Club. So that's why she was there.
Okay. Girl, were y'all all paid the same thing? Or did y'all have different rates?
Everybody had different rates for the most part.
Girl, the word around the block, girl, was that 7 was the highest paid off the show, girl.
Yeah, I don't know who or why. Like, I don't think so. From what I've seen and heard, it was Natalie, possibly Tanisha right beside her, if not right below. And then it was me and Christina, and then it was the rest of the cast. And that's because me and Christina had the producer credit for doing the OnlyFans project.
Okay, girl.
So yeah, I don't think so. But you know, these girls like to brag and they make it seem like, and this is what I never understood, when you brag about making all this money, but then you have nothing to show for after the project, it doesn't make you look better acting like you got paid more, because where's that money at?
Ooh. Girl, who you talking about exactly? Who you talking about? Girl. I mean, because I'm cool with 7. 7 is cool now, and 7 ain't got no problems with doing anything in her house because she taking care of the kids and she got a man and all that. But girl, who you talking about?
It just happens time and time. Let's think of. I don't know a lot of these girls compulsively lie about everything. So say for instance, like I'm okay with Tanisha now. We had our little online war. It was crazy in the house. She lied, she played me, but she kept saying like, I couldn't, they came with the right amount. They came with the bag. I had to sign for it, whatever. And it's like, you knew all along you were going to do it and you didn't get paid that much. So why are you acting like, or even say Natalie, like Natalie acts like she made all this money off of it, which I saw her contract. She gets 5 cents a subscriber and you're creating all this online drama for this little bit of money. But if that was so much money, then why are you still going overseas for fake lash events?
Girl, I don't know, girl. You know, Zeus about to become a billion dollar company, so they got subscribers now. So I don't know how long her contract stint is, but girl, that could be a little cointage, girl. I know they ain't got subscribers like Netflix, but I don't know what they're adding up to. But girl, what did you think about Sydney Starr being on the mix? Because I'm like, I don't remember her being a part of Bad Girls. So I was like, where did she come from? No shade, Sydney. Hey, boo. But I can understand that casting. That was a bit confusing.
So Sydney, I don't know how true the story is. She claims that she was supposed to be on Bad Girls Club, but then she blamed it on Judy, and then she said she missed the call. So I don't know which answer it is. But I do know when I went on season 11, they said that a transgender was going to be on our show. So when I came in the house and they were like, well, maybe the last girl's a man, maybe it's whatever. So they cut a lot of the conversation. So in season 11, you hear me say when Jazz walks in, that's definitely not a man. So it kind of makes sense that Sydney's story was right at the same time. So I don't know what's true and what's not true, but Sydney was more so for 1, shock value, 2, for Judy to have a rival, and then thirdly, Natalie was saying, oh, so Oxygen doesn't sue. We need to make it seem different because we don't need 7 girls living in a house. It's now 8 people, plus it's somebody that's not a female. So that was her whole mindset of not using Oxygen's concept, which it's, of course, Oxygen's concept.
Girl, anytime y'all come together and say anything with the word bad in it, girl, we automatically thinking of Oxygen. Girl.
Yeah.
Ain't no way that's going to work. But, I mean, I hear you. Girl, shout out to Sydney Store, girl. You had your moment, girl. You acted a plum fool every episode, girl. And hopefully we'll talk, girl. But girl, you was doing the most, girl. Shout out to all the girls. Shout out to Judy. Girl, I saw the text messages where she was begged to be on this show, girl. Judy, girl, I love you too, sis. Now, have you seen the movie, the series Squid Game on Netflix?
I have not, but everybody's talking about it.
Girl, it's amazing. So I was going to ask you, girl, if this was Squid Game, let's just say you saw it, girl. Okay. If this was Squid Game, who would you eliminate from Baddies ATL? Because that was what it was about. Squid Game, everybody get murdered up in there. So who would you eliminate on Squid Game, girl?
Looking back, I mean, definitely Natalie.
Okay.
Because Baddies ATL, the concept was supposed to be bad girls getting back together, putting a business together, and Natalie just kept tearing the project down, acting like bad girls from 10 years ago, fighting over rooms, and she was recreating in her mind what she thinks fans want to see, but don't they want to see real life and us grown up when we're in our mid-30s?
Girl, I'm going to tell you like this. Girl, y'all out there, the people that came up with Jay Leno's daughter, listen here, I don't know what the hell Baddies ATL was supposed to be about. I have no idea. You just explained it to me, but I ain't seen Nathan like that on the show. When you tune into Baddies ATL, it gives reject vibes. It gives girls that's in this nasty ass, crunchy looking ass, cheap ass mansion that's just fighting over makeup and shit. Girl, I was like, what is this show supposed to be giving? No shade, but all light. Jocelyn Hernandez's show had more of a purpose than Baddies ATL, girl.
And honestly, the culprit of all of it, and we couldn't get anything done. We had certain hours of the day to film, and it would just the girls couldn't even be professional to be like, okay, we're filming from 2 to 6. They'll show up late, they're partying, they're arguing. And at the very end of it, Natalie was the main problem on everything. And what I didn't like on that show is that Oxygen, they record you 24 hours a day. So they see all the shadiness that's happening. And I don't turn a switch on for camera. So every day Natalie comes in my room complaining for like 4 or 5 hours about everything. She was upset Zeus was, that Jocelyn had a better house than us. She had a house in Buckhead. We were in Cartersville in the middle of nowhere. Of course, our house was horrible. And she just was upset, complaining all day. And then as soon as the cameras would come on, keep in mind, I'm drained as fuck because it's like I haven't eaten. Natalie's been complaining. And then she'd be like, oh, what do you want to complain about now, Sarah? And I'm like, what is happening? And anytime that I did respond with, that's you who complains, everything was cut from the show. Everything.
Girl, well, I don't know if you saw any of my reviews, girl, but I reviewed Baddies ATL and I read y'all for filth. Especially the editors, trash. The house was horrible, girl. I was like, what is... Girl, they was on furniture with holes in it. There was holes in the wall. The doors was coming off the hinges. The bathrooms didn't work. Sarah, girl, you had the best bathroom, girl. You ain't had to suck no dick to get that bathroom, girl. How'd you get the best bathroom? The best bedroom.
I actually did not have the best bedroom originally. So I came the night before to pick out the room, and I wanted Christina's room, but Natalie tried to pin us against each other 2 ways with that room. She put me on one side of the hall with her, so Natalie wanted me near her. She wanted her room because of the chalkboard, and she had a closet. My room didn't have a closet. Oh. And also the room was filthy. So my room was probably the dirtiest room in the house. Oh. Christina was on the opposite side, so I would have picked her room, and Christina's like, well, I wanted yours because of the window. So Natalie strategically wanted me away to be her friend, to keep me away from the rest of the girls. So that was intentional. And then my room ended up being the best room because I spent 3 hours cleaning it. I got a rack. I mean, it was disgusting, like dead bugs everywhere. I found like dirty socks on the floor, cobwebs, bugs. Like I wiped the counter, my rag was black. Like it was gross.
Girl, so we're gonna have to rewind selector real quick because everybody already know me. First of all, if we're gonna be in anybody's mansion, it's gonna have to be pristine and clean, girl. And even from the footage that I saw on the show, it wasn't given that. So you telling me that your room was filthy?
It was filthy.
Girl, how y'all settled for that? Because in my mind, if we Baddies ATL, all of us they're gonna have to have a maid service come in, clean this shit up before we get in there. Like if Natalie the top Zoig, why she ain't make no noise, make no ruckus? She just complaining to you, but like why nothing get changed?
She did. So honestly, and I know how Lemmy, he's the owner of Zeus, I know how he operates, and he's working on a lot of things at one time. So if she would have taken the initiative to have some cleaners come out and say, hey, Lemmy, the bill's $1,000, I had them clean the house, he would pay it with no problem in a second. But she doesn't take the initiative to do anything like that. She just wants to complain all day.
Girl, I'm going to ask you something. It's no shade to you, girl, but does anybody on Baddies ATL know what executive producer is? Because, girl, I'm trying to figure her out. Because all throughout the episodes, I heard y'all fighting and carrying on. I'm the producer. No, I'm the producer. I'm the producer. I'm the producer, girl. And the show is shitty.
Yeah.
The show is shitty as shit can be. Smelly shitty. Wet diarrhea shitty, Pepto-Bismol. You need some shitty, girl. And it was like 17 producers, girl. And I'm so confused, girl.
Okay, so the EP title for Natalie and Tanisha was essentially a vanity title. They just wanted it to look good for the show, and they kept arguing back and forth about it. They ended up showing me say it because I had been not treated good, from the photo shoot to not being able to eat, the dirty ass room, asking for bleach for 2 days. Oh, also in my bedroom, my window was broken. So that's another reason why they didn't want that room. The window was broke and it was like 40 degrees at the time, and my bed was next to the broken window and the heat didn't work in there. So the room was freezing cold. So I had to ask for space heaters for days. So that's why I rearranged the room and put the bed up front. So that's another reason nobody wanted that room. And it was crazy because I was being treated a certain way. I remember Natalie and Tanisha were in her room. They were talking about something. I was going downstairs to get food. And Natalie's like, let me know what they have. I said, I'll bring you a plate back. And as I'm going in the kitchen, production had already started eating. So one of the main people at Zeus was like, no, like you guys need to eat after the talent, and Natalie and Tanisha eat first. And he almost knocks me over. And I'm thinking like, wait a minute, as much work I put in more than Natalie and Tanisha, and you're gonna knock me over saying Natalie and Tanisha eat first? Like Sarah's standing right here. And that's one of the reasons I was so pissed. They later called a meeting like the next day, and the food was ready. And I'm like upstairs in my room, and I kind of hear something. I go down. They're having a whole damn meeting with talent and production without me. And they're like, oh, Sarah, we didn't notice you're here. And I'm like, the only white female in the house, and I'm a producer on the show, and you don't know that I'm not in the meeting? Like, what is wrong with you guys? So I feel like, and that's why I kept saying nobody's listening to me later on, because you never saw any of that behind the scenes stuff happening.
Girl, they wasn't ready for this show. They wasn't prepared. That's why we got what we got, girl.
Yeah.
Nobody was ready. Nobody did their homework. And which is surprising to me is that all y'all been around producers and seen the show. Y'all come from Oxygen. So in my mind, why are we not setting it up so that all the girls can be comfortable, ready to go? I mean, I don't understand who approved this whack-ass mansion. Girl, executive producer, who, girl? Who was doing it, girl? I could have produced a better show than that. Give me the money. What's his name? Lin-Manuel Miranda. What's his name? Lemu.
Okay, let me. They call him Lemon Pepper, but Lemuel Plumber.
Girl, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Girl, give me the money, girl. We put a show together real quick. What we talking about? Girl, move it on, girl. Baddies ATL gave me scripted vibes. I was getting scripted vibes, girl. Was it reality TV or was it fakeity TV, girl? Because, like, Natalie and Christina was fighting over makeup for 9 days, it seemed.
So the reason it comes across as fake is because certain girls are trying to be in front of the camera or create drama so much that they're putting on a show. So if you have an energy all day long and now you're a different person within this 2 hours, it's like, what are you doing? And it comes across as fake. And that's why I've always known to be real and look real, because I react towards what's actually happening. And they just wanted to, I don't know what the hell they were doing. I honestly don't.
Do you think that the fight with Christina and Natalie was a real fight?
The first fight with me in the room between them, yes, was a real fight.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other part in the little dining room area, no, 100% not.
Okay. Girl, y'all heard it here. Girl, this is a lot going on, girl. So, let me ask you. The incident with the cigarette being left in Seven's bathroom, first of all, who cares, right? I don't. But then again, I don't know, because you said the house was filthy, so, I mean, I guess she should care. But was this staged, do you think?
Okay, so this is one of the reasons that irritated me, and it also irritated me how Zeus edited it because of everything that was happening. So the cigarette and the hair and the ashes was in the sink. I actually saw it. I recorded it on my video. So a lot of the footage that they used randomly throughout the show was on my cell phone because there wasn't cameras around. Because these girls just couldn't act right when it wasn't time to film. So that happened, and when Seven made a big deal about it, I thought it was ridiculous, because I was thinking, I spent 3 hours cleaning my disgusting ass room. There's a little bit of hair and a cigarette in a sink, and everybody's like running to your aid and you get to leave. That's why I was saying it wasn't me making it about me. I was like, yo, you're crying over something petty. Nobody gave a fuck that my windows broke. It's 30 degrees in my room. The air vent was dirty as shit. I actually had to pull the air vent out because it was just blowing dust in my room. And it's not about a Me Too thing. And later on in the show, it's what really made me snap, is because I had gotten into the fight with Seven. Security crushed me. I didn't get to fight back. The scene was so short because it was security mainly. And I guess they didn't want a lawsuit showing that security was on top of me. Because, you know, if they drug out a 20-minute conversation on the couch, they're going to drag out a fight. But because it was all security, it was so short, you know? And just them showing Janelle saying that I got beat up, that's when I realized, like, Zeus doesn't really have my back, because it's like, you guys know that's not what happened. And the next morning, so Natalie complained for the whole time, like 7 days, just complaining all day. And the next morning I was upset because my hair had fallen out when I brushed it and my finger was purple and crooked. And I said, Natalie, my hair fell out. Like, I'm not happy. She's like, you're killing the mood, Sarah. And I'm like, what? You guys complain every day. Let me have my one moment. She goes, the same thing happened to me. She had a broken fingernail and her wig snatched from the Christina fight. And she said that that was the same as my hair getting ripped from my scalp and a fractured finger. And that's when I was like, no, bitch, you're not my friend. I'm done with you. And that's where the switch happened on the show.
Girl, well, you know I love you, girl, but I got to ask this question, girl, because I was going off in my reviews, girl.
On me?
No,
okay.
on like everything
okay.
that happened, because the editing was fucked up.
Yeah,
I
they played the
nothing.
fuck out of
the
me,
editing
right,
was fucked
yeah.
up. So in my mind, right, because I think I know you, bitch. I know you, bitch. I know you, girl.
Is it the boardroom? I'm ready.
No,
okay.
It's the fight, girl. We going back to this fight, girl, because... You know, Seven was in her emotions. She was PMSing. What was going on? I don't know, girl. Seven was really like, cry me a river, girl. It was a lot, right? And so we never know what really happened because you see her happy one day and then 5 minutes later she crying and shit about her room and all that. So it was a lot for me, Seven. I don't know. But girl, y'all having this meeting and it seemed like everybody was paying her dust. Nobody was really caring about her. And then they just show you cop blocking her feelings like, oh, don't nobody really care. You know, I had issues, whatever. So she's staying up, girl. So immediately when I see a bitch staying up, bitch, I'm standing up too, girl. What the fuck you think you about to do, girl? Nathan, bitch, sit your ass the fuck back down, bitch. Fuck your throat up, girl. What we talking? But you was still sitting there like she ain't about to do nothing. So in my mind, we know Seven a little rock wilder, girl. She was fighting in the streets not too long ago. So when she get up, girl, why you ain't ready, girl? Because people were saying you was dressed for the fight and you knew you was about to fight and you got beat up and you just sat there and took the L, girl. Like, what was going on?
Okay, for one, I had that outfit on all day long.
Okay.
So the outfit had been on. Secondly, I knew she was complaining about something petty, and Natalie filled it in my head that she was complaining about all these little things and that she actually just wanted to go to a party, and that was her excuse to leave. Comes to find out that was a lie. And me, Tanisha, and Natalie sat down in her room and discussed that Seven wanted to leave. I didn't know that Tanisha was lying to Seven, saying I was talking about her. Natalie lied to me and said that Seven was talking about me to create us not to like each other. So when they were saying that she's being petty, wanting to leave, like somebody needs to say something, we can't say anything because we're EPs and it's going to make us look like we're insensitive. You know, I speak my mind. I'm like, I'll say something. I don't care. Like, it's true. I'll say it, right? So Natalie says, well, you know she's going to want to fight you. And I said, no, I'm not fighting. I'm absolutely not fighting. She's like, well, she's going to want to fight you. And then Tanisha goes, no, you don't need to fight Sarah. And Tanisha goes, well, if she comes to fight you, I'm going to stand up and not let it happen.
Girl, when has that?
So,
go ahead.
Yeah. So there was that part. So then we're having this conversation in the living room. So I'm thinking like, this bitch is talking about me. She's also being petty, crying about something in her sink. So this is my whole mindset. And then of course, the plot twist was Sydney twirling around talking about, I planted the hair, I did this.
Right.
Because I had Judy's back. I was like, you know, I don't think Judy would lie. Judy's like, I didn't do it. So in that moment, they slowed down her walking. But two things, I thought she was going to sneak Sydney because Sydney lied to her, had been in her room all day, and then set her up, and what really blew her over edge. So I thought that was one. And then she specifically says, so now I'm thinking, okay, well, either way, Tanisha's not going to let the fight happen. And then she says, I'm not going to fight you because you're white, and I think you would call the cops or something. So as she's saying, I'm not going to fight you, there's still Tanisha who's to stand up. I'm still thinking she might sneak Sydney, and it all happens in the matter of seconds. And then security's on me, and I don't even get to hit back.
Girl. Well, you know she was saying you kept calling her a little girl, and that was the problem, girl. She kept saying you was like something about a little girl or whatever. And in the one clip, she said, don't call me no little girl or something like that. And she's like, I'm warning you, don't call me no little girl.
Did I call her a little girl?
We never see the edit. But
if you never, well, you saying that to me, it's not in my character to say that. That's not just a word that I would say. So if you didn't see it, then.
Because that's what Seven said. Seven's like, she called me a little girl. She called me out my name. And she said that I told her not to do that. And she kept doing it. And she said, I said not to do it again. And then from that, she ran up on you, girl.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened. I just said she was complaining about something that was petty. And I'm like, bitch, my room was dirty. I cleaned for 3 hours. And then they tried to flip it. Like, you're making this about you. I'm like, no, you're crying about hair in the sink.
Girl. Did she beat you up? Do you felt you got beat up?
100%. I did not get beat up. Even the conversation we had the next day or the next episode, because that was actually filmed later on, she knows that security broke it up. So that's why I also felt played by the network, because they put Janelle like, oh, you did this, you did that. But she did not beat me up. I don't even think she got one hit in. They said, oh, well, she slapped you, but you don't even see her slap me. And there was nothing wrong with my face or anything. The only thing hurt was my finger, and that was from security. And I even have videos of telling security, like, yo, you fucked my finger up. He's like, I'm sorry, I fell on you.
Girl, I felt so bad for you, girl. Ooh, girl, I wish I was dead, because bitches would have got beat the fuck up. Like, I don't play that, Laura. What we talking about? But you got up. You was mad, girl. You was filled with rage, trying to get back up at... Girl, I was like, whoop her motherfucking... I mean, I love you, Seven, but girl, that was a lot going on. It wouldn't have been me. Everybody would have got beat the fuck up. So you talked...
Oh, actually, pause. So you don't get to see the real story of it, but if you listen back, I say, yo, where are my keys? They got my keys. So that was a setup too. Production had my keys and they supposedly lost them, so I wasn't able to leave. And you hear me talking about my keys after the fight. So I was stuck there.
Girl, that is a hot... Girl. Okay, walk us through this ordeal with the toilet paper. You gave her 2 sleeves of toilet paper, girl?
No.
What is going on? I mean, I can't watch my ass with that, girl. No. Why you stingy with the toilet paper, girl? What happened, girl?
Okay, so this bitch... Oh, I'm about to tell you. Okay. I'm trying to see how much I want to tell you of this, because there's a lot that
girl,
went
tell me
behind
everything,
it.
Girl.
Okay, so I'd already told her, we're not friends, like, leave me alone, you do too much, you're draining. And of course she had been a bad friend. So this is the last day in the house, and as soon as she wakes up, what does she need? She needs something from Sarah, like she does every day. She now wants toilet paper. So I said, well, I can't get it now. They're filming B-roll in my room, which is they're showing the room as if it was the first day, because I cleaned it. So they used the footage of it being clean as if it was before moving in the house, right? So they were doing B-roll, and then like 10 minutes later, she has Manny come to my room and ask for toilet paper. And I'm about to get in the shower. I have 1 roll of toilet paper. I'm tired of you giving you everything, and then you play it as if I'm asking you for stuff. I give her, like, no lie, I go like this and give her half of a roll of toilet paper, like it was a big stack of it. She flips out and she's like, she's being petty, she's this, she's that. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to hold up production today. I'm going to go to the store and get toilet paper since she's being petty. So then a PA was like, oh, I'll go get some. And then he comes back with like 5 rolls of toilet paper, literally walking down the hall like this. And she's like, no, Sarah's being petty. She grabs the toilet paper, throws it out of his hand, which is why there was toilet paper down the hall. And she's like, I'm going to the store to get toilet paper. And I'm like, what kind of EP are you? You're going to hold up money and production on your show to get toilet paper when you have it? So the whole thing was petty to begin with. She then made up 2 lies about the toilet paper. She told the other girls that Tanisha comes in my room and later on, and she's like, because this was like an hour later, she's like, it's not about toilet paper. I'm not stupid. Girl code, girl code. And I'm like, wait, what? She's like, Sarah, don't play me for stupid. Girl code. And I'm thinking, so me and Tanisha talked months previously, and she told me how like Natalie's insecure around pretty girls and how she had mental breakdowns on love games. So I'm thinking she's talking about Natalie's insecurities, but I literally have no idea, right? And then she looks at Janelle and Seven. She's like, well, what is this? And they're like, no, I think it's about toilet paper. I'm like, Tanisha, it's about toilet paper. She goes, I'll discuss this with you later. I'm like, okay. So apparently she told the girls on the balcony that I had texted Jacob behind her back, giving him info. So I've never texted Jacob. And what really happened was Natalie texted Christina's boyfriend, Brian. So she used what she did to Christina and said that I did that. And then there was actually another lie on top of that. I see Tanisha down the hall getting ready, and I'm like, Tanisha, what is this? And she's like, no, not right. I said, no, like, what are you talking about, this girl code thing? So I'm thinking it's like her mental breakdowns, insecurities. And she goes to tell me, and nobody knows this, and I'm going to leave the name out, but it's somebody with the network. She was like, Sarah, I heard Natalie has feelings for this person, and apparently you had sex with him. I was like, what? what the hell kind of, I said, so she made up 2 lies on the toilet paper lie. Me texting her husband, and that I slept with somebody at the network that she has feelings for. I'm like, what kind of backwards ass shit is that? And they be believing her, and then they play me on camera, and I'm sitting here looking like, it's about toilet paper. Like,
girl, you better than me. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Girl, you better than me. So, child, that was a lot, girl. Sydney Star, okay? She has problems with Judy. They have their little situation. How did you and Sydney come to a head? Because it seemed like, well, no, because it seemed like just about every episode y'all was always nagging at each other. So what happened between you and Sydney to where y'all had like this issue?
Okay, so like Sydney is cool in real life. She does whatever she wants for cameras and completely fake. And I tell her all the time, like she puts on a show for cameras. So I think when originally she was coming for Janelle and Judy mainly. So that was her main focus. Well, when Judy leaves, I had enough of Natalie and I told Natalie, I don't want to be your friend anymore. So then Natalie becomes friends with Sydney. So now Sydney directs all of her attention towards me because now she's Natalie's friend and because Judy's gone. So it was out of nowhere. And I even said like, yo, I've had your back this entire time. I even helped you in the beginning against Natalie when I was cool with Natalie. Like, how are you? But she just wanted to do it for camera.
Girl, I have to say, I was watching the lesbian party I had with the pole, the stripper pole, and like the stage, and y'all was out there. You were cutting it up, girl. Girl, Sarah, you did your thing, girl. Sarah, you did your thing. I have to commend you. Why was Tanisha giving Cleo from Set It Off vibes? What was that all about? Is she dyking? What's going on?
I don't know what, Tanisha. It's crazy. I don't think that, Tanisha wanted to come on the show and basically host it. There was no room for a host. I know she was nervous about coming on a show like this because she hasn't been on normal reality TV in 10 plus years. She's always been the host. Like, it's different being cast and arguing than it is the host. So I really think that this was not a great look for her. So I almost feel like she was trying to come up with ideas like, okay, we're doing a sexy contest. Like, I need to be sexy. And I don't know. The whole show wasn't a good look for Tanisha. I feel.
I know. Y'all not about to think about not subscribing to aconnectiontv.com. Copyrighted.